The rise and fall of Napoleon Bonaparte, the man who tried to rule the world. How does a poor young boy from a small island rise to command the most powerful empire in Europe? How does a military genius conquer nations, crown himself emperor, and yet lose everything in the end? This is the incredible rise and dramatic fall of Napoleon Bonaparte, one of the most brilliant and controversial leaders in human history. Napoleon was born on August 15th, 1769, on the island of Corsica, just months after it was taken over by France. His family was of minor Italian nobility, but they were far from wealthy. As a child, Napoleon was mocked for his accent, his short stature, and his outsider status at French military schools. Yet he excelled in mathematics, history, and military strategy, showing early signs of the brilliant tactician he would become. At just 16, Napoleon graduated from military academy and was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the French army. When the French Revolution broke out in 1789, it shook the foundations of France. Kings and nobles fell, and chaos spread throughout the country. While many officers fled or were executed, Napoleon's loyalty to the revolution helped him climb the ranks rapidly. In 1793, at the Siege of Toulon, he brilliantly recaptured the city from royalist forces, earning national fame at just 24 years old. Soon after, he was promoted to brigadier general. His career was skyrocketing, and he was just getting started. In 1796, at age 26, Napoleon was given command of the French army in Italy. Facing stronger and larger Austrian forces, Napoleon used speed, surprise, and unconventional tactics to overwhelm his enemies. His Italian campaign became legendary. He won battle after battle. He reorganized governments. He plundered art and wealth to send back to France. His victories made him a hero in the eyes of the French people and a threat to his political rivals. In 1798, Napoleon set out to invade Egypt, hoping to disrupt British trade routes and build an Eastern Empire. While he won land battles, his navy was destroyed by the British under Admiral Nelson at the Battle of the Nile. Though the Egyptian campaign was ultimately a failure, Napoleon spun it as a success upon returning to France, and his popularity only grew. In 1799, with France in political chaos, Napoleon staged a coup d'état known as the 18th Brumaire. He overthrew the existing government and established himself as first consul, effectively the ruler of France. Within 5 years, in 1804, Napoleon crowned himself Emperor of the French in a lavish ceremony at Notre Dame Cathedral, taking the crown from the Pope's hands and placing it on his own head. The boy from Corsica had become one of the most powerful men on earth. For nearly a decade, Napoleon led France into a series of wars across Europe, known as the Napoleonic Wars. He defeated Austria, Prussia, and many smaller states, reorganized European borders, spread revolutionary ideas of law, equality, and meritocracy, created the Napoleonic Code, which still influences legal systems today. But as his empire expanded, so did the resistance against him. Britain remained his greatest enemy, funding coalitions and keeping its navy dominant. In 1812, Napoleon made his greatest mistake. He invaded Russia with an army of over 600,000 men. The campaign started well, but as Russian forces retreated, they burned their own cities and fields, leaving nothing for the French army to survive on. By the time Napoleon reached Moscow, it was abandoned and in flames. With winter approaching, starvation and freezing temperatures devastated his army. less than 100,000 soldiers returned to France, a loss from which Napoleon never fully recovered. After the Russian disaster, European powers united against him. In 1814, Paris was captured, and Napoleon was forced to abdicate. He was exiled to the island of Elba, off the Italian coast. But Napoleon wasn't done yet. In 1815, he escaped Elba, returned to France, and rallied supporters in what became known as the 100 Days. Once again, Europe mobilized against him. At the Battle of Waterloo, on June 18, 1815, Napoleon was decisively defeated by British and Prussian forces. After Waterloo, Napoleon surrendered and was exiled much farther away, to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic Ocean. There, under constant guard, he lived out his remaining years in isolation. On May 5, 1821, Napoleon died at age 51, likely from stomach cancer, though rumors of poisoning still circulate. Napoleon's impact on the world remains immense. He redrew the map of Europe, spread revolutionary ideals, modernized military strategy, created laws still used today. To some, he was a tyrant and warmonger. To others, a brilliant reformer and visionary. But no one denies, Napoleon Bonaparte was one of the most fascinating and complex figures in history. From a poor Corsican child to Emperor of Europe,